So we're all using AI coding assistants these days, right? But let's be real. How often do they feel less like a helpful partner and more like, well, another problem to solve? Today, we're diving into a really powerful framework inspired by the great Andrej Karpathy that's all about turning your AI from a kind of clumsy junior coder into a senior level partner who actually thinks before it types.
Does this sound familiar to you? You ask your AI for a pretty simple change, and what you get back is this tangled mess of over-engineered code. Or maybe it changes things it was never, ever supposed to touch. Or, my personal favorite, it just completely misses the point because it made some silent, totally wrong assumption. It can be unbelievably frustrating.
And hey, if you're feeling that pain, you are in very good company. The AI visionary Andrej Karpathy called this out himself. He noticed that these AI models, they act a lot like an overeager junior dev. You know the type, they just run with assumptions without checking in, they never ask for help when they're confused, and they can end up creating more work for you, not less.
So this brings us to the big idea, right? What if we stopped just throwing instructions at our AI and started actually managing it, like a real team member? What if we could give it a set of ground rules, a framework that forces it to think more critically, more cautiously, just like a senior engineer would?
And that is exactly where this solution comes in. It boils down to 4 guiding principles. People often put these right into a simple markdown file that acts as a system prompt, directly hitting the most common ways AI code generation goes off the rails. So let's break them down.
Here they are, the 4 principles in a nutshell. And what's so cool is that each one is a direct countermeasure to a specific AI failure. Think before coding, that stops the guesswork. Simplicity first, that's your defense against over-engineering. Surgical changes, keeps the AI laser-focused so it stops making all those random, unrelated edits. And finally, goal-driven execution. That forces it to work towards a clear, testable finish line.
All right, first up, let's talk about the first 2 principles. This is all about making the AI think first and then keep things simple. These are basically the core habits of any great senior developer.
So this first part is all about making the AI's thought process totally transparent. Instead of just letting it guess what you mean, you command it to state its assumptions out loud, right up front. If your request is a little vague, it should give you options, not just pick one and run with it. And probably the most important part, if it gets confused, it has to stop and ask you for help, just like any good developer would.
And that brings us right to the next core idea, simplicity. AIs just have this tendency to create complexity. That tangled mess on the left. They add features you didn't ask for, these wild abstractions. This guideline is the antidote. You demand the simplest possible solution, that clean, straight line on the right. Just write the absolute minimum viable code to solve the problem, and nothing more.
So here's the dead simple test you can use. Before you accept any code from the AI, just ask yourself this one question. Would a senior engineer on my team call this overcomplicated? It's a really simple gut check that immediately puts the focus back on clean, easy to maintain code. Okay, so we've covered the thinking. Now let's get into the doing. This is all about making sure the AI acts with absolute precision and purpose. I want you to think of your AI as a surgeon. Its job is to operate only on the specific area you pointed to. It shouldn't be doing what we call drive-by refactoring on nearby code, or randomly changing formatting, or deleting old code it thinks is dead. Nope. It should make its change, clean up its own mess, like any unused imports it just added, and then get out. And here's your quality check. When you look at the diffs, at the changes, you should be able to justify every single line that was changed as a direct result of your prompt. If you can't, if there's a change and you're like, wait, why did it touch that? Well, the AI has gone rogue. It's violating this core principle of surgical precision. Now this might be the most powerful mindset shift of them all. Instead of giving a vague command like add validation, you give a verifiable goal. You say, here are the tests for invalid inputs. Your job is to make them pass. See how that completely transforms the task? It goes from this open-ended instruction to a closed loop with a crystal clear definition of done. So you put in the work to set up these rules. What's the actual payoff? Well, it's a much, much more efficient and reliable workflow. Let's look at the signs that show this whole thing is actually working for you. You'll know it's working when your code reviews suddenly get way easier. Your diffs will be smaller, more focused. The AI will start asking you smart questions before it wastes time going down the wrong path. And ultimately, your pull requests are going to be clean, they're going to be minimal, and they're going to be super easy to approve. And this all brings us back to that core insight from Karpathy himself. Don't just tell the AI what to do, give it the success criteria, and then watch it go.
The secret here isn't micromanagement. It's about defining success so clearly that the AI can work on its own until that goal is met.
So here's the real takeaway. By putting these simple principles into practice, you can completely change your relationship with your AI. You can go from being a full-time code janitor, constantly cleaning up its messes, to being a true architect, leading your AI partner to produce clean, efficient, and correct code, hopefully on the first try. The only question is, are you ready to make that shift?